On September 4, 2025, Beijing staged a military parade that captured the world's attention. Tiananmen Square became the backdrop for a show of force, with Xi Jinping at the center, flanked by Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. This was more than a national celebration. It was a global message. The trio's presence signaled a new alignment, united in opposition to the West. The event's scale was meant to intimidate, projecting a formidable Eastern bloc. The sight of these leaders together sent shockwaves through Western capitals. Today's parade answered years of speculation about the depth of their partnership, with marching boots and roaring jets. State media in all three countries hailed it as the dawn of a new era, challenging U.S. dominance. The timing was no accident. Global tensions are high from Ukraine to Taiwan. By hosting Putin and Kim, Xi doubled down, showcasing his key partners and crafting a visual narrative of an anti-Western front. Thousands of soldiers marched in perfect unison, tanks and missiles rolling by, a raw display of hard power. For citizens of China, Russia, and North Korea, it was a moment of pride. For the rest of the world, it was a stark reminder of the deepening divisions shaping the 21st century. The parade was a showcase of cutting-edge military technology. China unveiled its DF-41 intercontinental ballistic missile and new hypersonic weapons, capabilities that keep Pentagon planners up at night. Russia, despite its struggles in Ukraine, displayed its S-500 air defense system, signaling deepening military technical ties with Beijing. North Korea's Hwasong-18 missile, easier to launch and harder to predict, rolled through Beijing, a jarring symbol of its new acceptance. The presence of Russian and North Korean honor guards alongside Chinese troops hinted at integrated command and shared protocols. This wasn't just three armies showing off, it was the presentation of a potential coalition force. The message: these nations are evolving from political allies to military partners. They're learning to operate together, share intelligence, and coordinate strategies. The combined challenge they pose is far greater than the sum of their parts. The world saw not just hardware but the emergence of a new military bloc. The implications for global security are profound. Xi, Putin, and Kim standing together was a powerful image, one loaded with history and intent. Once rivals, China and Russia now share a partnership born of shared grievances against the West. North Korea, long a pariah, now stands openly with its patrons. Each leader has his own motives. Xi seeks a multipolar world, Putin needs powerful friends, and Kim craves legitimacy. The event's symbolism was meticulously crafted for a global audience. Their camaraderie and body language projected unity and purpose. Chinese state media cast them as architects of a new world order, directly challenging American leadership. Yet, beneath the surface, differences persist. Competition in Central Asia, China's wariness of North Korea, and a clear power imbalance. For now, shared animosity toward the US is the glue holding them together. This alliance is formidable, but its unity may be fragile. Still, their public front is a direct challenge to the existing world order. The world must take this new bloc seriously. The stakes are higher than ever. Former President Donald Trump wasted no time responding. At a Florida rally, he mocked the Beijing parade. "Did you see the big party in China? Sleepy Joe was probably napping. You had Xi, Putin, and Rocket Man, a real brain trust." The crowd laughed, but Trump's tone quickly shifted. He warned that the alliance would only grow bolder under weak American leadership. "Putin only went in because he has no respect for our country anymore," Trump declared. He claimed the Ukraine war would never have happened on his watch. Trump argued that strength, not diplomacy, was the only language these leaders understood. "You can't be nice to these people, they see it as weakness. You have to be strong. You have to be unpredictable." His message resonated with many Americans anxious about the US losing its global position. Trump's response highlighted a deep divide in American foreign policy, traditional alliances versus his confrontational America First approach. He framed the Beijing parade as a direct result of failed leadership. For Trump, the answer was simple: peace through strength. His remarks were both a critique and a campaign promise. He told his supporters and the world that under his leadership, things would be different. The debate over how to respond to this new axis is far from over. Despite the parade's spectacle, experts point to the economic fragility of this new axis. The combined economies of China, Russia, and North Korea are dwarfed by the US and its allies. The West controls most of the world's wealth, technology, and financial markets. China faces economic headwinds, a real estate crisis, mounting debt, and an aging population. Russia's economy, reliant on energy exports, is battered by sanctions and increasingly dependent on China. North Korea's economy survives on Chinese aid. In contrast, the US remains the world's most dynamic and innovative economy. This economic power funds its military and global influence. The Beijing-Moscow-Pyongyang axis can't match the West's economic resilience. Military hardware is expensive. A prolonged arms race would strain their resources. That's why they focus on asymmetric tactics, cyber attacks, disinformation, seeking cheaper ways to undermine their adversaries. The parade masked a deep economic vulnerability beneath the show of strength. Amid the spectacle, a hot mic caught a revealing exchange between Xi and Putin. Putin said, "We are the ones changing the world now." Xi replied, "Together, we will see changes not seen in 100 years. Take care, my friend." This brief moment confirmed their shared belief in overturning the US-led order. It wasn't just rhetoric. They see themselves as historic figures willing to take risks for their vision. Their personal bond is built on years of shared opposition to the West and a mutual grip on power. Both have removed term limits, planning for decades, not years. The hot mic incident sent chills through Western intelligence. It revealed the depth of their ideological alignment and commitment. This partnership is more than pragmatic. It's a shared project to reshape the world. The world must reckon with leaders who are true believers in their cause. The US is preparing a firm response to the Beijing-Moscow-Pyongyang axis. Expect new tariffs on Chinese goods and expanded sanctions on Russian entities and Chinese companies aiding Moscow. The US will strengthen military alliances, sending more aid and advanced weaponry to Ukraine and bolstering its presence in Eastern Europe. In Asia, support for Taiwan will accelerate, with expedited weapons deliveries and increased naval patrols in the Taiwan Strait. The US will deepen security ties with Japan, South Korea, and Australia, building a more integrated regional network. Diplomatically, Washington will work to isolate the new axis, persuading neutral countries to align with the democratic world. This is a long-term contest for influence, not just a military standoff. The US must offer a compelling alternative to China's model of authoritarianism. The battle for hearts and minds is underway. The stakes for global stability and freedom are immense. The Beijing parade crystallized a new era of great power competition, a 21st century Cold War. The dividing line is no longer communism versus capitalism, but democracy versus autocracy. The US and its allies stand for open societies and the rule of law. Opposing them is a bloc led by China, Russia, and North Korea. This conflict will play out militarily, economically, and ideologically. The parade was a powerful piece of propaganda, projecting strength and unity. The challenge for democracies is to offer a more hopeful vision. The outcome will shape the international order for decades. Will the world be governed by law or by might? Xi, Putin, and Kim have made their preference clear. The US and its allies must recommit to collective defense and democratic values. The spectacle in Beijing was a wake-up call. Freedom is not guaranteed. The choices made now will echo for generations.